Hi guys, Trisha Lenarati here with Keller Williams Realty Group. Thanks for stopping by my channel where I post new videos every Tuesday about all things real estate. This week in the Downsizing for Seniors series, I am talking about things to consider before you make that move to downsize. The two main things to consider with anything is the financial implications and the health and wellness implications to it. So when you're thinking about downsizing, that's the two things that I'm going to focus on here. It's not cheap to sell a house. I wish that I had a different answer for you, but it is not cheap to sell a house. So you have transfer tax. In Pennsylvania, we have a 2% transfer tax. Half gets paid by the buyer, half gets paid by the seller. And then depending on the municipality you're in, there may be an additional transfer tax in that municipality. So that's coming right off the top. Then we've got the dreaded C word, which commissions. And then we have other fees associated with selling a house as well. So it is not cheap to sell a house. It's also not cheap to move. Now, if you're lucky enough to have family and friends that can help you, that might cut down on this a little bit. But if you're not and you have to pay movers, that can be very expensive. I talked about it in another video, but there are ways to offset that a little bit. Some companies will come in and kind of help you sell your items and then you'll get a check back. So there's things like that can kind of help you. But overall, it's going to cost you money to move your stuff from one place to another. If you're not going somewhere right away and you have to put your things in storage, that's another cost associated with moving that can get quite pricey. It is going to be extremely stressful. You are uprooting your entire life. You have memories in this house. You raised your kids in this house. You grew as a person in this house, and now you are moving somewhere else. That's stressful. The whole process is stressful. So you just have to mentally prepare that it's going to be very difficult. No matter where you're going, actually, no matter what stage in life you're in, it's stressful. So just think about that as you're going through it. Try to breathe through it, and just kind of take it with a grain of salt and roll with the punches, because it is not without some headaches. Another thing to consider before downsizing is, where are you going to go? Are you going to be moving in with your family? Are you going to be moving into an assisted living facility? So coming up and deciding on what your plan of action was. Are you moving into an apartment? You could be doing any number of things just to kind of get rid of the bulk of the maintenance and the chains of a big house. So that's something to consider where you're going, because that is going to have an impact on you financially. Maybe you didn't have a mortgage where you were going and now you're renting and you're going to have a monthly rental fee. Or you're going into an assisted living facility, and that's going to, some of those can be very pricey. So are you financially able to do that? And that's just something that you have to think about. Sit down with your financial planner, sit down with your family, and come up with, what makes sense, where it makes sense to go. Another option for you might be to age in place. So as you go through all of these other, 4 things to look at before you downsize, is it feasible for you to age in place? Could you put, guardrails up? Can you fit a walker through places? Is there a master on the first floor? Do you have somebody that can come in and help you with things? If that's an option for you, then great. You might not need to downsize. It might be a more of an age in place thing, but you're going to have to go through all these other, thought processes before you come up with, if it makes financial sense and sense for your well-being to age in place. So there you go. There's 5 things to consider before you downsize. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Be sure to click subscribe and the little bell below so that you get alerts every time I post a new video. See you next week.